Tonight on CTV News, Southern Response responds to class action. Are we a city of royalists? And what caused a fire to destroy this workshop in Christchurch?
Broadcasting across Canterbury. From the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News, live streaming every night now at ctv.co.nz. We begin tonight with Southern Response. Yes, this organisation has responded to class action filed in the High Court in Christchurch. 47 frustrated homeowners signed up to take on the insurer last month, with policyholders wanting a better deal for their earthquake-damaged properties nearly 5 years on. The insurer says customers could expect further delays and be worse off. And they're at pains to point out that Southern Response did offer free legal advice sessions for its customers to sort out legal woes. The lawsuit, though, is still pushing through at the High Court, and the battle continues. And we'll bring you more information on this story as it comes to hand. Investigations are continuing into a blaze at a mechanic workshop just out of Christchurch. Smoke billowed from Taitipu Motors just before 7:30 this morning. Fire crews say a car caught fire inside the workshop, spreading to the structure next door. The blaze was not deemed to be suspicious at this stage, but investigations are continuing into what caused the blaze. Well, the Goffs, they've proven their love for historic Christchurch with the $2.3 million purchase of a beautiful looking building in central Christchurch. But what are their plans for the historical building? Here's Chelsea Daniels.
Christchurch City Councillor Jamie Goff has been long involved in the preservation of heritage buildings in our city, and now he's putting his money where his mouth is.
It was just neglected and sort of waiting for people to come along. And it could have died with neglect or whatever, but no, we both believe in it, and also my daughter, and we're going to make it work. And there's so many people from Christchurch that are getting behind us already. It's just wonderful.
And it's a family affair. Goff enlisted his father Tracy Goff and Canadian-based sister Rachel Koopman Goff to make the $2.3 million sale.
Well, I've always loved this building, and I've been on council for 5 years now. So I'd walk past there most days, I'd stand outside and look at the building, and there's very few 1928 Cecil Wood neo-Georgian buildings in Christchurch. Quite obviously they're not making any more of them, so it's a really special building. I've always loved it. It was on the market and it sat there for months with transactions falling over, and Dad and I were out for dinner on last Wednesday night at Venuti, and I floated the idea of it, and perhaps us going in together along with my sister and Dad's daughter Rachel, who's based overseas, and the numbers aren't compelling for a heritage building because it needs a lot of work and a lot of love. But I think we're different to a lot of other people, that we have that long-term view. Dad got the bug and caught the enthusiasm, and I think the next day I was sending through a few of the numbers and emails, and we decided to do a nighttime raid with torches, and we had a look around the building, and we talked more Friday, had a look through the building with one of the agents, made an offer that day. The London-based owner verbally said that he'd accepted over the weekend, and on Monday he signed.
Goff says his passion for protecting Christchurch's heritage-listed buildings is transcendent, and the purchase is in no way a money-making venture.
It's for Christchurch and us, because this Christchurch needs this. And there's so little that's left after the earthquake. I mean, I was lucky I had a Historic Places Trust in the building that I had in Hereford Street, and it was just wrecked in the second earthquake. So this is wonderful. This is to be able to do this again and save something and help.
Absolutely, and it's such a special building. You only need to look at it to see how unique it is, and I think that stuff needs to be celebrated. We've seen so many of these unique buildings go, and we really care passionately about the future of Christchurch. We back that, but it's really special if you can embrace some of the past if possible, and I think this is what this is about. It has been neglected a bit over the years, and that's not what we're about. We want to put in a lot of love, a lot of investment to it. It should be a sought-after building. I think these sort of things always hold their value. They always have that X factor. So we really want to celebrate that and make sure that other people love it as much as we do.
The Georgian-style building on Christchurch's Worcester Boulevard was designed by celebrated Cantabrian architect Cecil Wood in 1928. Wood was a leader of architecture in New Zealand between both world wars and had a major impact on architecture in Canterbury.
There's not a lot of heritage buildings, unfortunately, left in Christchurch. So certainly 1928 Cecil Wood is a rare find, and I think we're really privileged to be able to, as a family, you know, along with my dad and my sister, to be able to put that love and energy into it and take that long-term view. So very, very exciting. He did the Christ College Dining Hall, I think the Public Trust building, and he was a real influence on quite literally on Christchurch's landscape. So it's great to be able to then to have a piece of that and to be able to enhance it.
The building is partly occupied by Sarah, but a majority has been vacant since Languages International closed its doors in March this year. So what's the future for 69 Worcester Boulevard?
I'll tell you the main thing with the thing, it had a major problem. There's no parking at all. And we're lucky because Anthony and Harcourt and myself, Jamie and Rachel and Harcourt's children are also involved in all of us putting in and doing our work there on the terrace. And that'll end up something between 130, 140 and 180 million in there. So there's parking there. There's 400 to 600 parks. We probably need a bit of help on that, but we've got parking.
Yeah, so
this is the magic feature.
A lot of deals, from what we understand, did fall through because people just can't provide the car parking within a couple of blocks. We're lucky that we happen to know someone that's going to have 400 to 600 car parks literally just over the river. So that was a bit of a twist that was something that we could bring to help make that building work. So Dad's absolutely right.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Royalists around the country will soon be celebrating. Queen Elizabeth is about to become the longest ever serving British monarch in history. Gordon Finlater went in search of a royalist here in Christchurch.
At 89, Queen Elizabeth is already the longest living British monarch in history. And now, once 5:30 p.m. on the 9th of September clicks over in the UK, she will overtake Queen Victoria's mark of 63 years and 216 days on the throne. Now, I'm not much of a royalist myself, so to get a better idea on what this all means, I paid a visit to one of the Queen's biggest fans who lives right here in Christchurch. Right, I'm outside the house of Elizabeth Clement, who, as I understand, is a big royalist and should have a big collection of memorabilia from the monarch over the years. So let's go inside and see what we can find. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good.
Now, I understand that you have a big collection of memorabilia and that you're a massive royalist.
Oh, yes,
All right.
definitely.
Let's go and see what you can show us.
Right, come on in.
Clement has been collecting memorabilia from the royal family since she was a young girl. She's even managed to collect some items of importance from royal visits to New Zealand.
The Queen came out in 1953. We lived in New Plymouth and all the school children lined up in Pukekura Park. And this is my wee badge I had, and every child that went was given a medal like this. And I have a very good friend, Judith, who's still got hers. We're there together. Also, I had this very special brooch that Mr. and Mrs. Lawney gave me. Their son Andrew was the 16-year-old who was killed on Mount Egmont with the nurses. So that is very special, though we're all a very close family.
She's also made multiple trips to the UK, fulfilling her lifelong dream.
I was also in London for the Queen Mother's 100th birthday, so of course I saw the Queen then too, and the Queen Mother. I was right there in the front row in the mall. So that was goosebump material. This is the Diana Memorial scarf, which I'm wearing in the photo that was on the paper, and I bought it at Althorpe. So I've been to Diana's Memorial at Althorpe as well. So that's very special. I don't use it, it's too special.
So, after 63 years on the throne, does Clement think Queen Elizabeth has done well as a queen?
Oh, I think she's been amazing. She really has. You wouldn't get many people like that, would you? One thing I do remember is when it had it on TV when there was a big fire at Windsor Castle, and she was there helping. And other things, when you read back and what she did during the war with helping people, just, you can't imagine some other princesses doing that.
And while admitting that general interest in the royal family has diminished, she's predicting it to make a comeback.
I think particularly over Charles and Diana it changed things quite a bit, but I think William and Kate would have saved it all, don't you?
Gordon Findlater, CTV News.
Brilliant stuff. Still to come, just how bad is elder abuse in this city? Welcome back to CTV News. He's considered one of the best conductors in the business, but now Christchurch man Luke De Soma has his eyes firmly set on the West End in London, taking on his next international adventure. Jared McCulloch reports.
He's packing his bags and heading overseas.
Off to London to see what the next phase of work and life has in store. I've never been to the UK before, I've never been to Europe, so it's time for an adventure and time to see what I can get up to over there.
Luke has been back in the Garden City for the past 5 years as a freelancer, working on a number of projects to keep him busy.
I've been really lucky. I've worked with the Court Theatre and the Christchurch Symphony Orchestra and Showbiz Christchurch. I'm doing a spam role at the moment and had my musical in the Arts Festival and worked with lots of orchestras and choirs and things, and it's been a great time, but it's time to do something else and time to, be a little fish in a big pond again. There are times when it's been a wee bit slow and you just kind of have to. That's part of being a freelancer. It's busy when it's busy, sometimes it's slow. Sometimes, I'm eating 2-minute noodles and not really going out much. But that's the nature of being a freelance artist.
There's no stopping him. He's not long finished up with the Christchurch Arts Festival, and there's only a few shows left for the Monty Python production, music director for Spamalot.
Audiences are really enjoying it. Theatre Royal, silly dance girls, coconuts, a great time. 4 more shows Thursday, Friday, then 2 shows on Saturday.
But now he's getting set for his UK adventure, something he's been planning for a while.
Part of the appeal of London is to kind of breathe a little bit and take a bit of a holiday when I get there, but I've been really busy in Christchurch, but it's also a cool opportunity for me to see what else is out there, and it's not going to be a bad thing to kind of chill out for a bit and do some sightseeing, and hopefully it turns into work and having a career in the UK at some point.
De Soma completed his Master of Fine Arts degree in New York. He also holds a Bachelor of Music from the University of Canterbury and has a first class honours from the New Zealand School of Music.
And I feel really lucky that I get to work with everyone from like the best professionals in the country through to high school kids and choirs and orchestras and stuff, and that's really exciting. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing what music can do for people, whether it be kids who come to my summer school or kids in a choir who find confidence through singing or confidence through playing music, right through to the thrill of having my own music performed by amazing musicians and actors.
But never fear, he has plans in place to be back on our shores over the next 2 years.
I'd like to be kind of working in the West End. I don't know what that looks like. If I'm a coffee gopher or an assistant to somebody, that's okay. I just want to work with the best people I can. And hopefully it turns into some work conducting or writing musicals in the UK, pursue that scene. But I'll see how it goes.
His main focus is to finish up his current performance schedule before he jets off on Tuesday. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Things are looking sky high at Christchurch International Airport. It's announced an after-tax profit of nearly $39 million. That's up 110%. Chairman David McKenzie attributes the rise by the increase of international visitors to the South Island. The airport estimates its growth has added $300 million to the New Zealand economy. The news comes after Singapore Airlines announced it's increasing its daily service between 9 and 10 flights by the end of the year. That means more than 7,000 extra seats into Christchurch over this year's summer period by adding 27 flights to the city. The international airport is still a major competitor on the international stage, the chairman says, with an additional nearly 500,000 international seats to the South Islands in the last financial year. Well, in tonight's feature interview, our reporter Chelsea Daniels speaks with Canterbury Police about elder abuse in this city and how ageing citizens can prevent others taking advantage of them.
So the topic of discussion today is elder abuse. What exactly is that?
Elder abuse is when, I suppose, an older person's targeted and has things like, I suppose it can be violence, physical violence, verbal threats. It's also when someone's takes control of their finances without their consent. It's also controlling their lives. It can be even to the point where they can be locked in a room and not given access to their own freedoms and things like that. So it can be quite a raft of stuff. But it's basically I suppose it's that abuse, that they're abusing their rights.
And I believe there's some scams that are happening to our elders. Can you explain a little bit about that?
It was quite insidious in nature, and the motivated offender, they will approach an elderly couple or a person on their own, come to the address. This is one of the scams that I've been dealing with, and being appearing quite legitimate and wanting to do work around the house. They will do that work, and the elderly couple or the person on their own will pay them, and then maybe that next time they come in, they've got the trust, you see, so they enter the property, get the lay of the land of the inside of the property, and there is a situation at the moment, a man at the moment in prison for doing this sort of nature of offending, and he used to wash the windows of the outside of the house and then come back, say, in a month and get trust and then enter the inside of the house and then take small items like medication, wallets, cash, and sometimes the elderly may not know that's happened straight away, so he may come back again and try again.
So really, because our elderly are so generous, that's why people are taking advantage of them.
The thing too is I suppose we have to be stressed. It's not just the elderly, but the as you mentioned, the elderly are getting targeted for that very reason, that they can be sometimes isolated. In another case that we've been dealing with, this gentleman is pretty much on his own, doesn't have a lot of family, if any family contact from what I understand. So they are also looking for companionship, and if someone comes into their lives with showing a bit of interest, they'll accept them. Unfortunately, some of these people are very good at identifying those people and moving in, and then once they've got the foot in the door, so to speak, they are taking advantage.
How do we as a community stop this from happening?
One thing is to really get to know your neighbours in your area. Neighbourhood support's a really good way. It doesn't have to be a real formal thing, but it can be just knowing your neighbours, waving out, saying g'day. We've found that some of these situations we've found out via the neighbourhood telling us. So it's not always the person that's the target, the victim. They don't tell us, but we might find out from the neighbour. We would rather that the victim would let us know straight away. However, it doesn't always happen that way. And this isn't. It's not. I don't want to stereotype the elderly, because I'm not, and we're not saying that elderly. What would it be? Naive, but they tend not to reach out sometimes to the police. They don't want to make a fuss, we've found. So we do find out from neighbours. So if that's the way we find out, at least we're finding out. But we would really like people that are targeted to let us know straight away. Yeah.
Another good thing to do is if like I said, some of these scams, their way in is offering some sort of service. It's I'll help you with your shopping, or I'll help you clean your windows or trim your bushes. That's all good and well, but there are very good agencies out there who will do that, reputable ones. So what we're suggesting is, they do need work done, find a reputable business, but a really good way of doing it is going through Age Concern. Now, Age Concern obviously will link anyone with any service that they need. The good thing about going through Age Concern is that all the services and businesses and agencies they deal with are all police checked, and they have referees that support their type of business or their work, so that they are reputable people.
So is this a prominent thing in Canterbury?
It's probably like a lot of crimes, and if we use, say, family violence for an example, a lot of it's not reported, or there's an unreported element to it. So we can only deal with, and we only know of what's either reported to us or we come across it. So it's difficult for us to probably say, put a figure on it and say this is how much it's an epidemic or not. We we're aware of it does happen, and and we just don't want anyone to get obviously targeted. The thing is, and these people are in the later years of their life, and some of them have worked hard all their lives, and they're retiring, and they just want a comfortable, and then someone's ripping them off, taking all their money out of their bank account, and it's really that's for them. That's the end of their lives. They just can't really sort of have a nice sort of lifestyle anymore. It's the effect that these people are having on them are tremendous.
A very important story there, and we do thank Canterbury Police for making themselves available today. Well, the driver who died when his vehicle plunged off a bridge near Ashburton late yesterday afternoon has been named. He was 62-year-old David John Tales from Timwood. His death has been referred to the coroner, and police and victim support are working with his family. Investigations into the cause of the crash are still continuing. All still to come here on CTV News, broadcasting live at ctv.co.nz. Mercy returns for the weather and some sports news as well. Welcome back to CTV News. Now Mercy is standing by with the region's weather forecast.
Kia ora, Canterbury. Well, today was a mostly fine day with a few northerly winds. They were quite gusty at times for inland places, but mostly just light everywhere else. Today's highs 15 for Timaru and 12 there for Twizel. Central Canterbury 14 degrees today for Christchurch and Leeston, 13 for Methven and Akaroa, and 15 there for Darfield. Ashburton, you were on 16 degrees today. Heading further north, Kaikoura, you were also on 14 degrees, and you shared that temperature with everyone else here in North Canterbury. Sunny skies there and cloudy patches for you guys as well. Over to the Alpine region, 10 degrees today for Lake Tekapo. Arthur's Pass, you were on 8, and Mount Cook 11 for you. Tomorrow's weather for the major centres, we're seeing a little bit of rain coming through from the west for Timaru in the morning. That's clearing up, but coming back in the afternoon with a few southerly winds. 15 degrees there for your high. Also a high temperature for your expected high Ashburton on 15 degrees. Southerly winds though cooling down the temperatures in the afternoon. Christchurch could be a few northerly winds during the day, however these are turning southerly mid to late afternoon. 16 degrees for your high there. And Kaikoura, you can expect much the same with cloudy skies and sunny breaks in the midday mark. However, in the afternoon, a few showers coming your way. Could be a few sprinkling of rain here and there in the afternoon and the morning for South Canterbury. 15 degrees there for Temuka and Geraldine. Central Canterbury, we're also expecting that southerly change. Southwesterly winds later on there for Darfield. 15 degrees for everyone apart from New Methven. Your expected high is 14. Heading further north, southwesterly winds here as well. Could be a few showers for you guys too. 15 degrees though for the expected high, and 16 there for Colverdon. And over to the Alpine region, rain here. 10 degrees there for Lake Tekapo and Arthur's Pass. The upcoming days, Friday we're expecting could be a little bit chilly. Southerly winds coming through, particularly in the evening, and we could be seeing a few showers on Friday. However, mostly just cloudy periods with sunny breaks during the day. Saturday is looking dry and sunny. A few northerly winds coming in the afternoon, but look at those warmer temperatures. 15 degrees there for Ashburton and 14 for everyone else. To the rest of the Canterbury region on Friday, those southerly winds and drizzle patches here and there, particularly later on during the day for most places. Hopefully a few fine breaks in the morning and afternoon. On Saturday, it's looking really lovely. Northerly winds in the afternoon, but a mostly sunny, fine day, so a great way to start off the weekend. Over the next few days, we are expecting a little bit of rain tomorrow afternoon and possibly Friday evening. However, the Saturday is looking lovely and fine so far. And that's your weather update for Wednesday.
Thanks, Mercy, and that is your CTV News. Have a great evening.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.